Are you ready?
I'm ready. Can you see me?
I can see you. We're going to just talk to each other.
Okay.
Is that not staying? Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Angelique Lenox, 2025 chairwoman of the board here at the chamber. How are you, my friend?
I am doing just great. Just great.
Thanks for coming in on your day off. Kind of looking all snazzy with those great shoes. I love it, the casual look.
Yes, this is my casual look, so it's very different from when most people see me. I'm usually in a suit and...
You know what, though? I love it. I love to see, and I think we've had that evolution throughout our career because there would have never been a day I would have come to work in jeans, but
Yes.
the last 4 days I've come to work in jeans.
Yes.
It's only Wednesday, but still.
Exactly. You get to... just bring a different side of you
Different
out.
side.
The work is still the same.
It is the same.
But why not be comfortable doing
Haven't
it?
you noticed an evolution in our career?
Absolutely, and I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Well, welcome to our podcast studio.
You know, this is impressive, Hope. This is very impressive.
Thanks to Emery's Rocks Realty for
Thank
sponsoring this and making this crazy dream and vision happen.
I love it. I love it. I've been hearing about it for how many months now?
I know. We at the board level, we've been talking about this and going where our members are.
Yes.
And being where they get their content.
Absolutely.
And from what I understand, it is a podcast.
Absolutely.
And I've put my headphones on backwards. So
Oh,
no,
you're
I'm
still
good.
learning.
I'm still learning. This is all new, and it's raw and it's real, and that's what we're doing here today.
That's it. That's
so you
it.
and I are just going to kind of have a chat about who are you? Who are you? I know,
that's such a loaded question.
right? Isn't it?
What's today? Can I tell you who I am today?
Well, sure. That's even better because then we could go back in time and start to rewind and have some therapy. But no,
Yes, exactly.
you just appeared one day in my life, and I can't exactly pinpoint what day it was
Oh, wow.
or how we met.
Okay.
And you've just been a ray of sunshine to me.
Oh,
Ah.
but it's like dating. You don't remember when we first met?
I don't remember when we first met, which is crazy because you're supposed to remember, that first time. But
first
I feel like you've been with me all along.
Well, I will say this. The first time we met, I was working for Vistra Communications as their senior director of business development, and I came to a new members meeting, the breakfast meeting, and it was you and Dr.
Kevin O'Farrell?
Kevin O'Farrell.
Yes.
Loved Kevin.
Loved Dr. Kevin O'Farrell.
But you came out Miss Sunshine. You had on your high heels and you had on this really pretty pink dress.
Oh my God, I feel terrible that I don't remember.
And your hair was just flowing and you had the best energy. And I remember just at the end of it, you came up to me and you introduced yourself personally, and I was in love.
So you remember our first date and I don't.
I do.
This is going to
I'm
be
in
why
love.
we're in therapy. Okay. But it was instant
It was instant chemistry. It was.
And now look,
I
you're my
know.
boss.
I like to say that we work together.
We work together.
We work together.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
And we're going to accomplish some great things this year.
And I'm very excited about that.
We have a lot going on,
We
don't
have
we?
a lot going on.
I don't think people sometimes realize what goes into a board
Yes.
meeting or a board activity or leading a group of strong leaders.
Absolutely.
You're in charge of them at the boardroom table to make sure that it goes smoothly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me tell you, we just had our board retreat, so you were there.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted the board to know that I'm just not Angelique Lenox, chair of the board. I'm Angelique Lenox, let's roll up our sleeves and make things happen, right? That's me. I am from New York City,
And
born
Marine.
a Marine Corps veteran, right? I'm a mother of 3, a grandmother of 8 little boys. And so I'm tough. I'm
So
tough.
that's who Angelique Lenox is. And we have to make sure that we pronounce it correctly.
Angelique.
Angelique.
Yes.
The
The
fancy.
fancy. I'm of Haitian descent. And so I like to make sure people know that about me as well.
I love that. And so Marine Corps sounds intimidating. But I'm sure you learned a lot of leadership skills.
I have.
And a lot from that experience that is translated into business,
Absolutely.
into sitting at the head of the boardroom table, commanding that respect.
Absolutely. I've had some really wonderful experiences in my life. I joined the Marine Corps straight out of high school. Funny story, I actually was enlisted in the Air Force first. But I grew up in a small town, and the Air Force could not get me deployed to boot camp within a year of me graduating. They had this long waiting list. And I remember walking past the Marine Corps recruitment office one day, and the recruiter came to me and said, hey, you know you're not leaving for up to a year or more if you stay in the Air Force. But in the Marine Corps, we can get you out within months of graduating. And I was like, no, I love the Air Force. I want to fly high. And he said, okay. He said, but I want to invite you to an event. And he took me up to D.C., to 8th and I, and I got to see the silent drill team. And when I tell you that made such an impact in my life, the precision, the teamwork, the trust that it took to see these Marines mirroring each other, throwing their bayonets with such confidence. It was, even now, it gives me goosebumps. Even now.
I'm feeling it.
If you never had a chance to watch the silent drill team, I'm telling you, you will be ready to sign on the dotted line right then and there. And that's what happened. I went there and I had to discharge out of the Air Force and then re-enlist into the Marine Corps.
So that's such an interesting metaphor for life and in general, because you have your mind set on one thing until you see something else.
Yes.
And then you can pivot and you can
pivot.
change.
And you have to pivot for the right reasons.
Right,
though.
when you feel it.
When you feel it. And I pivoted into the Marine Corps because I wanted part of that. I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of the elite, the few, the proud, the Marines. Right? And that's where I got my work ethic. I would say I received my work ethic from two places. One, my father. My father was a pipe fitter in the Union. Oh. He was one of the very first African-American men to enter into the Union in New York City. And it gave him a livelihood to be able to give his family a good life. And I saw that. I saw his work ethic. I saw him get up every day and go to work. I saw him work his way up to foreman in this union. And he would tell you, he would show us his hands. And so he was my hero, right? He still is my hero. He's not with us any longer. He passed away. Matter of fact, believe it or not, today is his birthday.
Oh, happy
78th
birthday, Daddy.
Yes, yes. But there's no tears. There's just joy.
Pride. And you carry him with you.
I carry him with me everywhere I go. So work ethic from my father, and then I would say the Marine Corps, right? We stand for something, right? we stand for the elite, right? Following through, taking the heel, following orders, right? I have never been one to work in fear, ever, right? Regardless if it's for myself or for a corporation.
Did you get that in the Marine Corps?
I got that in Marine Corps. I don't believe in fear. I don't believe in I can't do it, right? You give me my my goal, you give me my orders, I'm going to do it. I'm going to accomplish it, regardless if I accomplish it on my own or I bring my team with me. And my team may not be people within my company or within my corporation. My team may be people that I have to reach out to. Like, you're a part of my team, right?
I'm a part of your team.
You're a part of my team, and I'm a part of yours.
Yeah.
Right? We'll accomplish things together. So I am, at the heart of who I am, I'm definitely still a Marine.
Oh.
And
Is it once a Marine, always a Marine?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It's the beauty of having a board of directors for me is having all the different people around the table with these experiences.
Yes.
And you mentioned Dr. O'Farrell, and every year the chair of the board has been exactly who I needed when I needed it. Dr. O'Farrell was the board chair during COVID, and you were on the board then. You remember we had some very dark days as an organization, as humans, as parents, just whatever the case may be. We were watching our business community essentially fall apart.
Yes.
That we had all just built.
Yes.
And he was that leader that I needed and we all needed
Absolutely.
During that time. The calming presence, the even keel. It was not a time for, oh my gosh, it was time to roll up our sleeves, figure out what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
And this year, we got a lot. We might be in battle, if you will, in executing our mission as an organization, and having that leadership really will help us and propel us and help me through what we're doing, whether it's with advocacy work or if it's building. We've got all of this happening in our community, and making sure that we have a thriving business community. So,
well, I tell you what, one thing during those dark times, Hope, that I want to definitely make sure that I acknowledge is that this community is resilient.
Right.
This community is resilient, and it makes me excited to be a part of the fabric of this community. To see people come together, just even in the last 6 months to a year, with the hurricanes and things, and people just coming up with ideas to help one another and raising money and making sure that
supporting each other,
supporting one another. This is an amazing community, and I'm excited to be a part of that. So I want to make sure that that's clear.
Oh my gosh. And I always say, if you see a strong chamber, you see a strong community.
Absolutely.
And while we are part of that fabric, it's really, we're just the connector. We're just the convener and the catalyst.
Yes.
Those are the things that we do. But watching our community rally around each other, whether it was the pandemic or if it's a health crisis of one of our favorite people in our community or the hurricanes, we come together.
Absolutely.
And I don't know that happens in every community.
Well, I would say this. I think that again speaks to the ideals of my Marine Corps background, because no man will be left behind.
Right.
And I tell you, this community embodies that. No business will be left behind. There's a place, there's someone there that is willing to help you.
Yes.
And the chamber was right in the middle of all
Right.
that, and I loved being a part of that.
it's exciting
Yes.
for us to move up and grow and evolve and be a part of that. And we tell our businesses and our members all the time, if you need help, ask us.
Yes.
I might not have the answer, but I sure might know somebody who does. And so no business left behind.
No business left
I kind of like that. Each podcast that we've done, we've had a little tagline that comes out of that. No business left behind.
No
So
business left
we that's our role as a chamber, to do what our business community needs and wants, and to move the needle so that we're not stagnant. So
Well, we live those things that we talk about. That's the other thing that I think is important: the authenticity of our chamber, the collaborative nature that we make sure that we showcase right out in the community, the innovation, right, the diversity.
what I call this area the United Nations. We have so much diversity, and it's flavors in the stew,
Yes,
and it adds to our appeal.
absolutely.
It adds to our support of each other
Absolutely.
in the business community. So for me, in my career, being here 13 years, has been the most amazing time of my career.
Right.
Because I've literally got to watch this community grow out of the ground and come out of the ground. And so having leaders like yourself stand beside me, and we fight the good fight and be a part of that continued progress, so rewarding.
So rewarding. So rewarding. The other thing is the integrity, right? We are who we are. We walk those values. We live those values. And even I think back to when I was being installed, which I was so nervous, right? The paper was shaking.
You'll be a pro by the end of the year. You won't even need any notes.
Well, now it's like I'm just ready to get out there and talk to everybody about what we're doing here, because I'm so excited. I've drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, that, as a chair of the board, that is the best thing I could ever hear. I'm going to have to share that segment with my chamber colleagues around the country and say, this is what your board chair should be saying and doing.
I drank the Kool-Aid. But one of the things when we talk about diversity, people automatically think that it's one class. And remember, I don't know if you remember, but I talked about, you said in the United Nations, I am a walking United Nation.
I think we
right?
talked about
I
that.
am a walking United Nation in the sense of I am a disabled veteran, right? I am a African American, Haitian American, Black woman, right? I am a woman of a certain age.
Oh, Lord, that could be a whole nother episode.
Right. But I fit in all these buckets
Right.
of diversity, right? And so who else to speak on that subject, right? We have veteran-owned businesses.
We do.
We have Black-owned businesses. We have Hispanic-owned businesses. We have women-owned businesses, right? We have businesses that are head up by women and people of a certain age, right? And we want to embrace all those businesses.
We do.
We want all of them to come in here, and we want to support all of that, right? It's not just one thing. It's all of that. And we want to be able to support those businesses because we can understand the needs, right? And the direction of what our community is. Our community is growing, right? It's growing.
One of the fastest growing in the nation.
In the nation, girl. Now, who gets to say that?
Nobody.
We do.
We do. But there also comes growing pains with that. But making sure that all of our business community feels included.
Feels included.
And part of the conversation. And sometimes leading that conversation is not easy. Sometimes leading through those diversity is not easy because sometimes there's different needs, but it's making sure that we just embrace
Absolutely.
the differences that we all have.
Absolutely. But not just that, too. Think about the nonprofit space. You know, that's,
Oh, yeah, we're going to definitely talk about that, the
You know,
nonprofit space.
that's-
Perfect little segue into that.
so you have the nonprofit space, you have the corporate space, right? You have the small business, you have the large business, you have the medium business. We want to be able to talk all that language. And I have a passion for nonprofits. And honestly, I really don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, where did that come from?
I've worked for nonprofits. I think my passion comes from because I'm a giver. I'm a server. I love service. Obviously, I served in the United States Marine Corps, right? The military service gave me that mindset, right? That I'm here to serve on behalf of the people of America. And I took that very seriously. I still take that very seriously, right? And so nonprofits serve.
Yeah.
And so it's at the core of who I am. And I believe that there is a place for nonprofits within our chamber.
Oh my gosh, they're so important to that fabric that you were talking about.
Absolutely.
Because nonprofits, to me, I think of them as the ones that were made out of a cause or a reason. That because there is domestic violence, we have Sunrise of Pasco. They were made for a cause, and they support our community in ways that we might not even know.
Yes.
And I've started drinking your Kool-Aid on the nonprofits and understanding what they're still a business at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And we have resources that we can provide them as a nonprofit. And I know that we had our board retreat last week, and we have some great ideas and things coming that are going to be able to really focus on those nonprofits and connecting them with the resources or the business that they need to grow and to be prosperous and to continue to have the resources to serve.
You drink that Kool-Aid.
I did. I know. And listen, I love nonprofits. It's my favorite call to get is when a new business is coming to town and they'll say, what nonprofit can we support?
Yes.
We give checks for, and my first question is, what is your passion?
Yes.
What is your mission? Where do you fit in? It's interesting because some are for pets, some are for children, some are for food insecurities, some are for veterans.
Yes.
We want to give, so we're able to kind of piece those together and say, I've got the perfect one. But if I don't know who the service is, I can't help them.
Well, first of all, Hope, who don't you know?
Well, my circle is pretty big, but I don't know everybody.
You don't.
Obviously.
But you know what? The thing I love about you is that you stay humble. You stay humble. You are the same way since I met you in your pink dress.
I have pink pants on now, so just a little different. If I would have remembered that, I would have worn a pink dress today. And I probably would have gone back on Facebook and tried to find a picture of that event and worn that same dress.
Well, that's all right. That's all. You know that.
I do know now.
But the fact that you remain the same. You're still very passionate. I've always seen your passion in this organization, and I'm just super excited. If I could just get half the energy that you have, what are you drinking, girl?
Oh my gosh!
Is it coffee? Is it
it's
like I have my
coffee.
coffee here?
Yeah,
and I limit myself to a cup a day, just one cup.
A cup, is this a cup?
This
Or
is a
you
cup.
mean like a measuring cup?
No, this is a cup.
Because if it's a measuring cup a day, I'm in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, no, this is a cup. One of these a day. That's it. And that's it.
So I have maybe 2.5 measuring cups of coffee.
Okay.
That's probably it.
Okay.
Yesterday might have been a little bit more. I was home writing yesterday, so I really needed my go-go juice. But
Go-go juice. I drink go-go juice.
Go-go juice. Yeah, it helps me. You know, my energy comes from my passion, and my passion comes from my people.
I love that.
So it's the people that feed my energy, and that gives me more, and it just makes me want to keep going.
I love that. I love that.
I just made that up. I had no idea
Well,
that
there
was
you go.
even going to come out.
Well, there's another saying. My
There you
passion
go.
comes from my people,
Yeah.
and my people keep me going.
They do.
I love that.
That is so true. So it is a therapy session. We are having a therapy session.
Right? But that's okay.
That's exactly what Chamber Chatter is about.
Really?
We want to have fun. We want to talk about business. We want to talk about what's happening in our community, how we can support and uplift each other. And
Exactly.
this is a platform for us to say all the things that we've wanted to say that we might not have had an opportunity to say.
Because you know what? I think people get caught up in the fact that businesses have a title, they have a name, right? ABC, whatever, jump, whatever. But they forget that those businesses are made up of people.
Yes.
I don't. That's my thing. I see people, right?
Yep.
And if it comes in the format of a therapy session, so be it.
We've only had a few of those.
Right. But it's important to remember that businesses are made up of people. I don't care if it's, again, nonprofit, small business, corporations. There's people that are in those buildings. And that's really the most important, right? That's the most important because you can't have a business without
You
people.
can't have a business without people.
Healthy people, healthy-minded.
Healthy-minded.
Right?
And physically healthy.
Physically, yes,
Everything.
all of that. So, and keep inviting the businesses and having your therapy sessions.
Yeah, we'll have therapy sessions.
Come in.
Yeah, Chamber Chatter, your business therapy. We wanted to have fun too. Make sure that we keep it. I like to keep it.
Exactly. But whenever you and I get together, we're always laughing. So.
Yeah, well, this might not be the best podcast ever, but listen, we're having a great
Great
time.
Isn't that what it's supposed to be? It all can't be just
Stuffy
and stoic.
And when we first started talking about how our outfits have changed throughout our careers, when I first started, you had to sit up straight. And I was not senior management. I was a little peon. I sat around the boardroom table. You did not speak unless spoken to. You didn't share your opinion. If you had on a skirt, you had on pantyhose.
Yes, ma'am.
And watching
the evolution
of just all of that,
yes.
I was just a little girl fighting my way to the table.
And aren't you glad the pantyhose phase is over?
Oh my God.
But for men, it's also the ties,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Men can now wear sports jackets and just a nice button up or a nice polo with a sports jacket. Or, they don't have to wear the tie, especially here in Tampa. Man.
Well, Florida definitely.
Period, right?
Florida definitely.
Think about it. And I remember, I think it was last year, going to an event. I think it was a ribbon cutting. And the men had on these suit jackets. And when I tell you, watching,
They're
sweating, and they're trying to be, very just professional, but they're wiping their foreheads, and they have the napkins and pieces of paper.
I know.
And it's like, just take the jacket off. Sir, take the jacket off.
Do we have to give them permission to do that?
I don't
Did somebody give us
know.
permission to take our pantyhose off?
I think that the evolution. I think it became just the evolution between fashion as well as the climate, the culture, right? Company culture is important. And I think that it just became this acceptable thing where pantyhose weren't necessarily
I had no idea that we were going to talk about pantyhose today on the podcast, but so I grew up in the chamber. I started right out of college in Jackson, Mississippi, and I remember we had a 3-story chamber building. It was old firehouse in downtown Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
I got in the elevator with one of my colleagues, and she kind of looks me up and down. She goes, "Your legs are naked." I go, "Excuse me?" She goes, "You don't have on pantyhose and you have on a skirt." And I go, "Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that." And she was kind of taken aback, and, "Are you going to get in trouble? You know, you're going to get in trouble."
Right.
The next week, she and I both got in the elevator, and I'm like, "Your legs are naked." She goes, "Well, if you're not doing it, I'm not doing
either.
it."
But you know what? I will say, when I was in the Marine Corps, right? Same thing. When we wore skirts, we had pantyhose on, we had, buttoned up. So again, my work ethic, when I transitioned out of the Marine Corps and moved into corporate America, I had my suit, my jacket buttoned up, my pantyhose, my heels. I had the uniform.
Right.
Right? But again, today, here I am in jeans.
I love it.
Still professional, except for the hole in my jeans.
Hey,
But
it's
I was
fashion.
hoping no
Yeah.
one got to see that. That's why I'm kind of
You didn't
covered up a little bit.
I guess I didn't inform you enough on
But
what
it's okay.
that we were doing video.
It's
too.
okay.
Well, we can just do audio if we want to, but it's much more
No,
fun when you
let's do-
see people.
Let's do the video as well.
Yeah.
And, it is what it is.
Well, I do like to keep these to around 30 minutes, and I
Okay.
think that we're getting close.
We're getting
But
close.
we have been all over the place.
We have.
Was there anything that you specifically wanted to come in and share with me? Because you said, "What are we going to talk about?" I was like, "I don't know. We'll figure it out." And look, we did.
We did.
And we've had a
just
beautiful
flowed.
conversation that has encapsulated who you are,
Yeah.
shared with people a little bit of me, a little bit of you,
A
how
little
we're
bit of
working,
chamber.
a little bit of chamber.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for this year?
The programs we're implementing, the programs, the nonprofits, working, putting them together to be the collaborator, the connector, the convener, and the catalyst.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Putting nonprofits and businesses, right, regardless if it's small or big, right, or medium, putting them together, looking at our younger generation.
Yes.
I am excited about that, right? Giving them a place, letting them know that there's a place within our organization for them.
Yes.
Because concession is very important, right? Not concession, succession.
A succession
A
plan.
succession plan.
You
It's
need
the
to
coffee, it's the lack of
drink more
coffee.
coffee.
Wait. Let me get this up. Okay, succession. A succession plan is very important, right?
It's crucial.
And that comes from our young people, right? But our young people are fearless. They're out there kicking butt, taking names. And we want those people to come, young professionals.
We have a place for you at
have
the
a place,
table.
yes.
We want you. We
want
want to
you.
hear from you. We're not worried you're going to take our jobs.
Not at all.
We want to give them to you. We want to show you.
Absolutely.
I want you to come take my job.
Absolutely.
Please.
But we want them to be set up for success.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But the only way we can do that is if they come.
Yes.
Right? But we're going to take it into the street and we're going to collaborate. We have some things planned.
I know.
We have some really great
I'm really
things
excited.
planned. And then I think lastly, we just put it out there
Yeah.
with the
You go ahead and say
No,
it.
you
'cause-
say it. You
no,
say it.
no, you say it.
You say it. Say it.
The economic impact study
Economic
for
impact
the
study.
possibility of incorporation of Wesley Chapel.
That is so important. But I think most important, again, as people are discovering this in the community, we don't have any skin in the game either way.
None. And that has been probably one of the things that we talked about Friday
Yes.
at our board retreat.
Yes.
That I really want to get the message out there. We don't care
Either
whether
way.
or not Wesley Chapel is incorporated.
We have no skin in the game.
None.
Either way, pro, con. We just know that we have an expectation, a commitment, right? We have a responsibility
ability. Yep.
to do it. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited to be chair of the board. I'm excited to work with you and the board, and no business left behind.
No business left behind. Well, Angelique Lenox, thank you for being in our Emery's Rock podcast studio.
Yay.
Emery'sRockRealty.com.
That's right.
That's where you can find them.
Thank you,
Be
Chad.
sure to give them love. Chad is a board member.
Thank you.
Chad has supported this vision.
Yes.
I'll have to get him on the podcast one
Absolutely.
day. I'm trying to go through all of our board members because
Yes.
they all have such a cool story
Yes.
to share. And I want to make sure that we highlight them and thank them
Yes.
for the work that they do because it's not always easy.
It's not always easy.
We make it look fun and glamorous, but it's not always easy. We're doing the hard work. And
Yes.
one thing about the incorporation I want to say before we wrap up is, you said we don't have any skin in the game. We don't. We are the leader of the business community. The business community has asked us to do something, so we're doing what a chamber does. Whether or not Wesley Chapel is incorporated does not change our mission, does not change our focus, does not change anything about our organization. We will continue to be the chamber for the North Tampa Bay area, the connector, the convener, and the catalyst.
Yes.
Woo! Girl, we got to work on our high five.
Yeah. There you
All
go.
right,
There
cool.
you go. One last thing I do want to say. I would love more people to come into the chamber, so I would not be doing my part if I didn't say, check us out. Go to our website. Look at what we offer. Give us a call. Come to our events.
Come meet us.
Come meet us. We are friendly people.
We
right?
love people.
We are all about business. I want to make sure that, what's our next event coming up? Do we have an event?
Girl, I don't know what day it is.
We have some events coming up, so go to our calendars.
We do. We have a lunch and learn tomorrow. So our next big event is
Yes.
going to be April the 8th. It's our breakfast, which also happens to be the same day as our board meeting, but that was a scheduling issue with our venue.
Yeah.
But our speaker is going to be Martine Gramatica, Automatica Gramatica from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I love that.
I know. We're telling everybody to please register ahead of time because
'Cause it will sell out.
that's going to sell out.
It will. Sell
It
out.
will sell out.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're super excited to have him come and share his story, his leadership, and what he's got new on the horizon. So that's a great event for people to come to because
Yes.
it's a little bit, it's more structured than just a normal networking event.
Yes.
And so sometimes people get intimidated walking into networking events. They're like, oh my God,
Exactly.
I don't know anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody.
But I think also too, if there's businesses out there, you want us to come to your business. We want to make sure that we're getting out into the community as
Yeah.
well. So that's important.
Yep.
If you have community events, you need speakers. Hope is wonderful. Let me tell you, she's wonderful. She knows this community so well. But we have board members that are amazing.
Yes.
Let's get involved. Let's stay out there, and we will see you out there. Because again, no business
Left behind. My friend, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chamber Chatter.
Chamber chatter. I love it. I love
All right. Thanks.
All right.